Today we are looking at triangles, section 4.5 in your intermediate math textbook. So I got the examples here. We'll talk about those in just a moment, but I want to start with just some basics. So at the front of your text for section 4.5, there's some definitions that you're going to want to make sure are in your notes. You probably will also make some flashcards for these. That includes the definitions of acute triangle, obtuse triangle, right triangle, and equilateral triangle. And these are definitions based on the angles. We did some definitions based on sides before for triangles, but these are specifically about the sides of the angles on these triangles. They also have equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, and scalene triangle based on the length of the sides, okay? What our notes today are going to focus on are how to draw triangles when they've given you some information about the sides and angles. So the first thing you want to know, they use the term included quite a bit. And when they say an included, side or an included angle, what they mean is that it's in between the two things. So they're going to give you maybe three items. They give you two sides and an angle, or two angles and a side, something like that. But they'll have to tell you which one is in the middle. So the word included tells you which one is in the middle of the other two items. Okay, so an included side or angle is between the other two pieces. Or other two parts. So in our first example here, it tells us that we have a 25-degree angle and an included 1-inch side and a 75-degree angle. This is example 4.5b from your textbook there. And so with this information, we should be able to draw the specific triangle that they are asking about. All right, so we'll get our tools ready here. We'll need a straight edge and we'll need a protractor for this, or you can use the edge of your protractor to draw your straight lines. I just have to have a separate one on the screen. All right, so because they gave me the included side, I'm going to start there first. Now, in order for you to be able to see it, I may have to make mine a little bit bigger. I don't know. Let me see. Centimeters, inches. So it's going to look really small because you can see here 1 inch on my screen is only that big. On your paper, it will be larger to you, but from far away, it looks really small. All right. A 25-degree angle will be on one end of this 1 inch, and a 75-degree angle will be on the other end of this 1 inch, okay? So you'll take your protractor, and whatever corner we're going to start from first, let's make that the vertex. So I'm starting on that first side, and then I'm making sure that I'm lining it up with that line that I drew, okay, that it's going this direction. So if I'm looking at the angle being 25 degrees going this direction, be sure to start at 0 on this side. Don't start with the 180, start at 0, and we're going to go to 25, which for this one, it's right here, okay? And then you would, make your mark for 25 degrees. Then you'll take your straight edge or the edge of your protractor and we'll make a line. I'll just make it a different color so you can see it a little easier. Okay. And now I need a 75-degree angle in this corner. Well, that green is kind of hard to see. I should have left the other color. But I'm going to put the vertex at the center of my protractor here, and this time my angle is pointing this direction, so I need to make sure that I'm starting at 0 on this side and going up to 75 degrees, starting from 0. So that would be 75 degrees right here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's undo that. Okay. Maybe blue. Okay. And then from the edge here, the vertex to my 75 degrees. Now, I don't need to make my line that long. Obviously, I'm just making a triangle. So as long as I can get it from that vertex and to make my triangle, I really only have to make it, that long. Okay? So that now I've got this little tiny cute triangle, all right, that you would, of course, label on your paper. We know this purple side, that was our 1 inch. And then this angle here, 25 degrees, you would write that probably inside your angle on your paper. Okay, 25 degrees right here. And then 75 degrees is the corner right there. All right, so again, kind of small, but your book shows it a little bit larger. Or where it's closer, you can see it a little closer. All right, example B also shows an included portion. This time what's included, we've got a 0.75 of an inch, an included 45 degree angle, and a 1.25 inch side. Now again, it's gonna be hard to see on my screen, but we'll do the best we can here. Again, the same example is in your book, but I wanted you to kind of see how to do it. So we'll start with the included angle here. Let's see. So we know that the angle is in the middle. So that means we're going to have the 0.75 inch side, the angle, and then the 1.25 inches, okay? Because the angle should be in between these two sides. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna start with the longer side just because it's, hopefully you can see it on my screen a little easier. So I'm gonna draw the 1.25 inch. So that's a 1 1/4 inches. About right there. Now I need my angle, 45 degrees. So I'm going to put the end in my circle there. Since I'm pointing this direction, 45 degrees, start with 0, would be up here. Use my straight edge to draw a line. And again, I don't need it to be super long, but I'll just draw it like that. And now I need to measure this side, because this side only needs to be 0.75 of an inch. So I'll take my ruler and I'm going to lay it on this side. Okay, so that's 3/4 of an inch. So I need it to be 1/2 inch, 1 inch. So between the 1/2 and the 1 inch. So right there. Well, maybe. About right there. Okay? You see my little tiny dot right there? And now I'm going to draw that last side. So from this point, that's the right length, I'm going to connect it to the other side of the triangle. And there you have it. And then of course you would label your sides. So the one on the bottom was my 1.25 inch side. This was my 0.75 inch side. And then in the corner there, I would label that 45 degrees. Okay? So that is the basics. We'll be drawing some of these in class. You will need your straight edge, your protractor. I don't know that we'll need your compass for this, but we might. So go ahead and make sure you bring all 3 supplies to class.